Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about rumors. Let's talk about facts.
We gon' talk about life. We gon' talk about death. Romance, finances, generational wealth.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Hello. Welcome.
Yes.
I am Marsha E. Dudley.
And I am Etoya Lewis.
And this is
Let's talk about it. Now, I know it probably looks like, where y'all at?
Oh, but we fancy tonight. What are you talking about?
We got our books and stuff. Like, we smart and we
We are
read
super
and whatnot.
fancy tonight, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our new studio for the next,
Oh, wow.
yeah. It's okay. We're moving up in the world,
Mm-hmm.
aren't we?
We are. Like George and Weezy.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
moving
Weezy.
on up.
All
Okay.
right.
So tonight, darling, we're going to be talking about, are you black enough?
Are you black enough?
You know, that's one of those questions that irks my nerve. Let me tell you why. Because what the heck does that mean?
I was going to ask you to put a definition to it.
I can't, because I don't even know what it means to be black enough. I think I'm from the country. And when I say country. Okay. So growing up, everybody, oh, you talk white. I don't even know what that means. I'm just as country as you are. It's just why I feel like I might be a little better in, how I speak on things, but
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's nothing white about that. It's just, I don't know.
I took them glasses off and my whole world ended.
Put them back on. Put the glasses back on. Let us know when you come in.
Yes.
Let
Go
us
to
know.
the comments.
Yeah, just
Go ahead to that comment section.
yeah. See, I'm not good at all this.
Oh, you got this.
I'll be to knock us all off. We have to start back over and everything. Like, sorry about those technical difficulties. Like, wasn't nothing technical about their difficulty.
So I want to hear from y'all.
Child.
What does it mean to you when people say,
Raven Morgan.
are you black enough? What does that mean?
Anybody can answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so how we got on this whole topic? I don't know if y'all remember, about 2 months ago, I think it was, and we talked about colorism. Yeah. Okay, so a while after that, I saw this post in the Netflix group that I am in on Facebook. That's Raven Morgan said hi, and Travis Walker said I'm in.
Hi.
And this Netflix group that I'm in on Facebook, they were talking about, I don't know, I guess the name of the movie is Black Adam. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and they have The Rock playing Black Adam, and people were in an uproar talking about how is he playing Black Adam? He don't even identify as black.
Yeah.
I had purpose, I would punch them. What do you mean he doesn't identify as black? How do you identify as black? Either I look at you and I see you as black, or I don't. How do you? What is it that you have to do to identify as black?
And I guess they were saying is that he doesn't claim his blackness.
He does,
and that's what they're saying. But that's kind of where I feel like, why is it that biracial people, they always have to pick one side?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we as a society, and especially us as a community, we always, like, if you have, and I understand, I totally get it, because the government says that if you have one drop of black blood in you, you're considered black. I get it. I understand that. But I think that if I was half, half white, half black, half Indian, half white, half Indian. I wouldn't want to just say I'm just straight Indian. It to me, my mom is white or my dad is black, and so why is it that I have to? Because
it's like disrespecting the side of your family,
saying that your blood that you gave me isn't good enough,
right?
And I think that if you remember when Tiger Woods, when he first
hurt
came
my
out,
heart.
Yes, a lot of people were so upset with Tiger Woods because he says that he's Asian, he's black, he's this, he's that. He doesn't identify with he claims all of them.
But they did that. Oh my God, I feel so bad that I can't remember her name. But the tennis chick, the one that beat
Japan. She's claiming Japan, but she lives right here in Los Angeles.
And they always say the Japanese. Okay, y'all looking at the same person I'm looking at? Because that's not the first thing I see when I look at her.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me.
So do you think that, does it bother you that they disregard her blackness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is it goes back to, are you black enough? Because do they not see?
And I think that the thing is that,
but not just her though.
Okay. And
because they did President Obama, they did that to him. They do it to Kamala Harris. Like they don't want to identify that part of their lives. They only want the Indian or the white. Like that's the only thing that they want to put forth because there's no way in God's green earth that a black person could ever be president.
And so think about that's why I empathize with biracial people, because from let's say that we're going to call it the non-black side. The non-black side is saying they don't want to even claim your blackness, but then the black people saying why you ain't claiming your blackness.
Right.
So it's like
you damned if you do and you damned if
you
don't.
Yes, I'm not black enough.
Carlos said he claims all of his ethnicity. I would assume you're talking about The Rock.
Tiger. Oh, okay.
And he said he didn't pull a Tiger Woods. So yeah, he's talking about The Rock. And then the Japanese girl. Her dad is Haitian.
Yeah, her dad is Haitian. You're right.
And you know what? They did not.
Who said that?
Carlos said that. They never claimed her as Japanese until she won the tennis championship.
And I actually read her story, and she said because her mom was from there, there was no. She wanted to represent them, that part of her, and I respected that. But I totally agree. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Even with President Obama, his mom is this, his mom. He had a daddy.
Girl, please, they couldn't look. They had to respect that because Michelle bust up in there, sucker black as I don't know what.
I'm here. But the whole identifying is a problem for me. Remember the movie Queen? Alex Haley's Queen with Halle Berry? And after she was out and hungry and whatnot, and she was like, "Ask me, girl." She needed help. But why does it take being biracial and the white people don't want you anymore for you to now accept who you are?
Yeah. But for her during that time,
she was trying to fit in so black, she could have something.
Let me tell you something. If I was light skinned during that time, I promise I'd be passing too. I'd be like, black who? I'm not black. So,
yeah, it's just one of those situations. Either you're, if you make it, you have to. Oh, I'm black.
Yes.
Black.
I totally agree.
But why do we do that to our people, though? It's not about everybody. If you can clearly look at someone and see that they're black, why do I have to scream it from the mountaintop?
Because it's like, I think that black people, they may do that because when they see a celebrity that maybe that they see a part of them in them, it's like, I need for you to claim your blackness so that when the rest of the world sees me, that maybe, or sees you, maybe they see a piece of me in you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's the same reason why black people wear designer clothes and stuff like that. It's so that they can. It's to give them that feeling like I'm somebody. So I think,
Yeah, it gives you that feeling, but a lot of times you're still not looked at by the others as someone.
One day I was I was at a store, and I had all my little design stuff on, and I didn't just, and look here, I don't just buy purses, expensive purses, ain't got no money in it. I had some money in that sucker. But that salesperson followed me all over that store. And I sat there and I kept thinking in my mind, it don't matter how much money I have, it doesn't matter what kind of clothes I have on. At the end of the day,
All they see is your skin.
all they see is my skin color.
Mhm.
So, to them, we're not white enough. So, and you get it from both. You get it from both.
Okay, Carlos says that's been embedded in our system since the days of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
The house Negro and the field Negro mentality, dark skin versus light skin concept. I didn't watch the Saturday Night Live when it aired,
Mm-hmm.
but after Beyonce did the Super Bowl and she was Black Panthered out and everything was blackity black, 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 and the skit that they did, it was funny, but it was just so much truth to it.
Yeah.
They were like, wait a minute, Beyonce's Black?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Why could you not see that from the beginning?
Because the world had whitewashed her, and she broke out of that mold, and it scared
I think
them.
it was more her father than anything.
Mm-hmm. Of course, because in his mind, when you cross, let me tell you, Black money is good.
Because when she started managing herself,
Yeah.
she did like a whole 180.
Yes.
As everything when she was with him was women, 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 women.
Mm-hmm.
But once she became her own boss and writing her own stuff and doing everything and paying for her own stuff, it was black, black, black.
Mm-hmm.
I'm black. I'm black. I'm black. I'm black. Black
Yeah.
parades and
Yeah.
and brown skinned girls and
Yeah. Because
freedom and.
But he was trying to cross her over, and I get what he was trying to do, because Black money is good, but white money is even white and Hispanic. Because she crossed over to not only white, she crossed over to Asian, she crossed over to Mexican. She did a whole thing in Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they didn't know she was Black.
The Spike Lee movie School Days portrayed it well.
Well, that more or less portrayed
light skin, dark skin.
Yeah, but they was trying, the black skin girls thought that the light skin girls were not Black enough. So to me, it was kind of wrong for them to do them like that.
Here comes David talking about they used to call me light bread.
And you know what?
Okay, so I'm glad you're on here.
Yes.
So let me ask you. So did you grow up identifying as one versus the other?
Yeah.
What? How I need to know.
And not only that, did you feel like the world was making you choose a side? And if so, how did it make you feel? Dave, you want to come on? I would love to hear what you got to say, because I think you would prove. Dave, you want to come on? Say yes.
He said he chose, he's German and Black. He get in where you fit in, huh? So, but you know what? He's always spoke German. Mm-hmm. He's always, that side of him, he's always been proud of.
But did the world make him? But did he feel like the world made him choose, or was trying to make him choose a side? And why he's thinking, and
hi Karen.
David, you don't want to come on? Say yes. And while he's thinking about if he wants to come on here, and I hope he says yes. So what about, I think the other thing that Black people, where we always are talking about Black enough, is the way that other Black people talk. Like, that's like a big, big, big thing. Oh, you talk white. What does that mean?
I don't know. David says Germans do not identify as white Americans. Little known fact.
David, are you coming online with us? You dropping these facts. You can come online and you can drop these facts and let's talk about it.
Carlos said they did a study on little Black girls years ago with white dolls, and the majority of them chose the white dolls based off of how television portrays white women. Yes, I remember that. And it was so sad. It's like, oh, but at the same time, that's all they had. They never had Black dolls. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever wanted to choose the Black doll. It's so sad. Okay, Travis says, I do not like when people associate everything that is proper with not being Black.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything from proper English, nice neighborhoods, to the careers that are chosen. Yes, they do.
That's good. That's right.
That's real good. They do. The way you dress.
Yeah. Big time.
Oh, you dress alike.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah. And when you see somebody that's doing real good, oh, they think they white.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they think they white.
All uppity.
Because I sure say that about you and Carlos.
Woo! The truth shall make you free. Okay, Karen said, it's not talking white. It's using non-verb agreement. Who said what now?
Okay. Hold on, David. We coming. We coming. Messenger.
Hi, Tanisha.
Okay.
Carlos said he does say that people talk proper.
Give me a second, David. I'm about to bring you online. Hold on. I'm gonna send you the link.
And Karen says, my daughter was the stereotype in Forney over 15 years ago, all the way to graduation, because she was a darker girl but spoke well English and liked that type of music. What type of music? Because if you're talking about country or pop, I'm a country pop singing something. All music is good if it speaks to you.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's about to see if she can get her daughter on now.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Karen talk about non-verb agreement. Good evening, Bobby.
And then we code switch, like when we get around certain, especially
yes, talk about how you. Okay, Marsha was explaining to me this once before how she code switch
all the time.
She's like, go and tell them how you code switch. I'm me everywhere I go. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I'm known to stick my tongue out, do a little twerk. Hey. I make them do it too. It's okay.
For me, I was always the only Black woman in corporate America. And so I'm working, David. I'm working to get you on here. I was always the only Black woman in corporate America. And so it's like a lot of times they were expecting me. They was expecting some other, I don't know. I just felt like they was expecting me to be someone else. So I had to always make sure I kept it together. And I would get in there, and I swear you would think that you were in there with Chelsea Clinton.
Well, I saw those pictures that you posted for Stephanie's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm telling you all the time. Yes.
I was like, oh, look at my chocolate drop.
And if you look, I am the only
chocolate drop.
Yes. Okay, David, I just sent you the link. You can jump on. Okay, so
Karen says her daughter sings opera.
I bet she does. And I love opera. And let me tell you, that's the thing. When we love things other than hip hop, rap, and all that type of stuff, I feel like sometimes that black people, we as black people, we try to put limits on other black people, and I think it's out of fear. You know,
That's just like when Lil Nas X came out with Old Town Road,
mm-hmm.
and it was like, it's not country.
Mm.
It's not. They would not put it under the country. And then when Billy Ray Cyrus was like, well, let me jump on here.
Yeah,
all the country people wanted to jump on with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, okay, this is country. But it was country before.
Mm-hmm. And now he came up with this other mess. Who gonna jump on that?
I promise you, he has a whole millions and millions of impressionable young people that's following him. Things.
Classic music. Let me tell you, when my kids go to sleep, that's what I let them listen to is classic music because I think it stimulates their brain. But I really think, I definitely think that us in our community, that we've got to, it's 2021. We've got to, broaden our horizons. We have to go deeper than what we've normally, we've got to go deeper.
Sharita says she has a beautiful voice too.
Oh, I bet she does. We would love to hear her sing.
Yes. And then Carlos says those are all considered racial norms.
What?
The hip hop.
Oh,
I'm assuming. Come on, Marsha E. Dudley, classics.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's why my girls are smart. Y'all sitting up there letting y'all kids listen to all that hip hop, they're gonna be slow. I'm just playing.
It's not true.
No.
What your girls listen to? Because I know the little girl of yours listens to everything.
Yeah, oh wait, no, she does. But when she goes to sleep at night, I put on a lot of Beethoven. Look, I love the shipping costs. I love that song.
I'll pay the shipping costs.
Mm-hmm. David, can you get on?
You sent him the wrong link.
Mm-mm. Oh no, he see it. He getting on.
Because we want to know about your upbringing and what the conversations were. I want to know what the conversations were with his parents as he was going through school. Because I know, like he said, they call him what, light bread.
Like for me, a lot of times I was teased a whole bunch because first of all, my name is Marsha.
Marsha.
Yes, and then I didn't care who's around when I would code switch and just switch in a minute. And I think for me, people call it talking white or stuff. Sometimes it's just not. It's just talking like you got some sense. It ain't talking white. There's no such thing as talking white.
Karen says, Marsha E. Dudley. That's true. Ask my hubby. My kids could not listen to rap or anything until they got in middle school because we needed them to know what was being said was not all true. And Bobby said, we started classical music. Carlos says, little known fact, Beethoven was a black man. Is that a little known fact?
All right. Look here.
Can y'all see me?
We can.
Yes, we can. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. So we have questions, and you are the only one in this group that can possibly answer. So what were the conversations like growing up with your parents? Like if someone said something to you, because I know kids are mean.
Well, for me, I was kind of in the town that I went to school in Germany. I was kind of a popular guy there because, to be honest with you, I was like one of the only kids of color in that town. There was one other guy that was a little older than me. His mom was German and his dad was black. However, his dad left him over there and came back. Me, my dad was over there. He was in the army, so I was kind of a popular person. So I really didn't have experienced a lot of that in Germany. And so at the same time, I was socialized. My dad was in a AME church. And so a lot of times, you know, I was socialized in that aspect as well. So I got the best of both worlds, I can say. And I never really had that issue when I was younger. And I was like I know I mentioned it in other podcasts, I mean, in other shows, but I was like the kids in Germany would come get me to fight the bullies. So I was like, they look at me as like the strong guy for some reason. So I would go fight the bullies in the neighborhood, like in the town, go fight them. And so that kind of gave me a little, I guess, respect in that area. But then when I came to
David, Carlos said, turn your light on. Can't nobody see you just because you light.
German school,
So I'm just messing with you, bro.
you can't see. Man, all right, how about this?
I think that's him.
Can y'all see me?
He's in his man cave, so
Yeah,
he doesn't have a good
because
signal.
Dallas is downstairs and he was crying when I left, so he didn't want me to leave. So I had to come up.
I get it.
But we can hear you.
But
I know everybody can hear you, so that's fine. So once you got to America, though, do you think that Americans we focus more on, you know, are you white? Are you black? What are you? Do you think that we're more focused on that than most countries?
That was one of the questions that I was going to ask. Do you think Black people in the U.S. struggle more with the idea of race more so than other Black people in the world?
Yeah.
You know what? You know, I was just talking about this with someone the other day. So the first time I experienced racism was really here in America, to be honest with you. It wasn't among the people who I grew up with in Germany. It was more over here. But again, the way I was socialized, even when I grew up in Maryland, a little bit outside of Baltimore. So a lot of times that's why I say I'm from or whatever. But I grew up around that area, and really I didn't really have a lot of issues there either. And I think again, I think it goes back to my socialization, but that's over here is the first time I heard, I'll say the N-word. You know, it's the first time I heard that being said by, let's say, a white person referring to a Black person. And so, you know, that's kind of how that went. But I really didn't have an issue, any kind of issues growing up. My socialization was
probably was scared of you.
I don't know. I was always, until probably like, I don't know. My dad always thought I was gonna get by like 6'5" or 6'6". I'm 6'2", 6'2.5". But I was always like one of the taller kids in my class until probably like high school sometime. But again, I didn't really have a lot of issues growing up as far as racism or identifying with the Black and white. I made a joke earlier. I said, you know, people used to call me light bread, but that used to be my nickname. So, but other than that, I mean, I really didn't like my family in Arkansas. A lot of my family from Texas and Arkansas, on my dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
So Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, you know, that's where my dad's side of the family's from. So we used to go down there all the time, and I was like, for some reason, I was like I guess everybody looked at me like, hey, you know, hey, what's up? That's light skin. Hey, what's up, light skin? What's up, light bread? But other than that, that was really it. I really didn't have any issues.
So in high school, who did you? I don't want to say fraternize. Who did you hang with more? What was your group? What did your group look like?
So in Maryland, I would say, Maryland and Jersey, I would say more. I would say my social circle was more with the African American Black culture. I would say like that, hip hop kind of culture, because that's what we kind of did. You know, I was into a few other things too, so I kind of gravitated towards that, and that's kind of how I identified myself with. And it was, besides every now and then somebody asking me to say something in German, that was really it. You know, a lot of people thought I was Dominican for some reason, but I'm not Dominican. But so I always speak German. Even Keita would
Shut
tell
up,
you
Keita.
that.
He fraternized with me in high school. Okay, Karen said, my daughter says that now, as she lives in Berlin, and says that is more acceptable, talking about racism and being black or whatever. Most of my up north friends in New York and Maryland says they experience more racism here in Texas than up north.
Yes.
That's
up north is like a melt. To be honest with you, up north there's a lot of. I mean, when I lived in Jersey, when I met my wife, when I met Keita, you know, it was like there's a lot of a mixture of people up there. I mean, as far as like Hispanic and black, white and black, European and black, Dominican. I mean, any kind of race and ethnicity, you know, that I when I went to Germany. I mean, when I went to Jersey. So,
okay, so I have to ask you, being biracial, do you sometimes feel like that, you know, you pick one race over the other?
Not really. Again, I think I feel like that because, you know, as I put earlier, Germans don't really. I would say I don't speak for all Germans, but I speak for the majority of Germans that I come in contact with. My family, I would say that, but they don't identify with the. I would say like the Caucasian white American race. It's just like saying like an Italian is the same thing as a German. It's different. They're from Europe, but they're from different places. You know, so I never really had that issue. I would say I would just say that when I go to Germany, I speak German around my family. I speak German around them, and over here, again, yeah, I can speak as like people like
he has quite a few places he can go and speak the language.
I'm like a chameleon. If I need to go to Indonesia, I can speak Indonesian. But it's kind of like, or Nepal, I can speak Nepalese. But it's like, you know, it's I think I think I kind of got the best of both worlds. Maybe not all of the people who I've talked to over the years have had the same experience, but I think because the way I was socialized when I was younger, I think that had a lot to do with it, a lot to do with things. Because like I said, my father, you know, my grandmother, from what the stories she used to tell me, you know, she worked for what she called, you know, she worked for the white man or for the white man in his farm or whatever you call it, you know. And so now on the other side, on my German from my German family, I had people who was in World War II who fought with on the SS side, you know.
Wow.
So I got two totally different, you know, worlds. And people probably turn in their grave if they knew what the product was. But you know, the outcome is now, and you know, the way I see it, I always tell my kids, I was like, look, you guys got a very diverse background, and it's up to you all to keep that knowledge going throughout your, you know, throughout your lineage as you go older, as you all start to have kids. So, but going back to what, you know, you were saying before, I really haven't had a lot of issues in that aspect. It was always kind of like to be honest with you, it was like a plus for me at first with the girls back in the day. Because it was like, hey, this guy speaks another language, so it's like, hey,
yeah, because they're not used to that.
Yeah. He went there and spoke that German Keita. She was like, oh.
I know. I was just going to say, because okay, I'm gonna read Carlos' message first. He said, "We are a product of hundreds of years of oh my God, systematic racism."
Yeah.
Okay, and then Keita says he fraternized with me in high school.
Yeah, you know. Now, I will say this. I'll be honest about this. So when I first, I would say like even with Keita, when I met Keita, she used to say, "Hey, will you speak some German?" And I used to be kind of ashamed to speak German a little bit because I was like, I thought it sounded funny. I was like, "Well, you want me to speak German?" Because every time you see one of your friends, "Hey, say something in German, David. Say something in German." And it probably wasn't until my early 20s that I started more being more public about my German heritage.
Well, Carlos
accepting
used you the
certain
whole
things,
time
like
he was in the
putting that
warehouse.
out. Yeah, I mean, when I got back over there, it was a different story because I had all my family like about 2 hours away. So, it was inevitable, kind of, But I mean,
Carlos said he witnessed racism while in Germany, but surprisingly, they were Nigerians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely Nigerian.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question.
They be in the clubs all the time over
there. So I have a question. How are, it's like, how do we as a community, like, come together and stop looking at each other like, oh, you're not black enough, or you're, what is black enough? Because I asked Toya that what is being black enough? What is the real true definition of that? So my thing is, we can always talk about an issue, but I always believe that there has to be some type of solution. And I think we all have opinions about that solution. So I'm gonna ask you, what is your solution? Then what is your solution? And then I'm gonna get my solution. I would, and then we want to hear everybody's solution, because I feel like we keep staying in the same spot. The rest of the world is progressing, going forward, being great, but we sit around here still talking about, oh, you ain't black enough, or you, and especially,
is they black?
Yes, and especially like when 2020, it's like you had to draw a line in the sand. You blackity black. It's like everything was black, and it felt so good that we were uniting.
It was more people on the same accord.
Yes,
I was always like that, but I'm just saying,
yes,
more people.
But it felt good that we were being united. But we cannot shut white people out. We cannot shut Hispanic people out. We cannot live in a black bubble. We have to, it takes all of us to be great. Now, Donald Trump ruined this, but what he was saying was, let's make America great again. To me, in order to be great again, it must take all of us, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever.
It's the again part that I was bothered by.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was the again, because I don't know.
I left off the again part.
What part was great prior to slavery?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it starts with the socialization.
Mm-hmm.
I think it starts at home. I think it starts by the comments that people make. Like for instance, our parents, like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like, when I was younger, my dad would make certain comments that he was socialized with from down south of Arkansas versus certain groups, certain races and things like that. I just put it like that. But it was, I don't think he meant any harm at first, but it was just how he was socialized. And he would make certain comments like, hey, and then on the other side, on my grandmother's side, like they say on my mom's side, when they first met, my grandmother, it was taboo for a black man and a German woman to get together during that time. And it was an acceptance of my dad at first, until later on, he married. Once they got married, and once they saw that he was serious about marrying my mother. But it was like the Germans thought that the black men were like the devil. Seriously.
Well, a lot of people see us that way.
Yeah, and that's how they saw it.
See us that way.
Yeah, and she told me that.
Said, oh, well, Sharita, I'm sorry, Sharita, I don't want to miss your comment. Sharita said, let us hear some German, David. Say, let's talk about it in German.
I don't remember.
Können wir sprechen jetzt?
Okay, there you go, Sharita. I don't know what that was, but I couldn't repeat it. Okay, Karen says, we were never included when he said that, make America great again. Black folks, that is.
It was
Black
the
folks were not.
again part, but
And then Keita says, Ronald Reagan first said, make America great.
Mhm.
Trump tried to keep that same mess going, but he couldn't keep that same mess going because it didn't have the same intentions.
yeah,
That's the reason why we want to know what again meant, because I was here for Reagan being in office, and I'm trying to figure out when the again is.
yeah. I think he
Yeah.
should left the again part, but that's, you know. But I really think it's time for more growth. We've seen a lot of growth in 2020, especially after George Floyd and all those different deaths and the way we came together as a community. But like I said, I think for us to progress, we have to let other people in. And I think that it first has to start at home, exactly as you said, David, that we got to start teaching our children that you are supposed to be proud to be Black, because the world
beats you down enough
a lot. And then we also have to stop allowing the media to portray us as ignorant, as animals, as
thugs.
Yes. And money hungry. To me, the Real Housewives, and I know everybody, I like it. I used to watch it, but I don't watch as much now. It's like, it's okay for I don't know. I just think that sometimes the way that we portray each other, that's what the world thinks of us. And so we've got to be more conscientious about how we allow people to portray us.
Carlos
What are y'all
says,
thoughts on the crabs in the bucket theory?
Oh, I believe
we definitely believe in all that.
Yeah.
And that's a part of our problem as a
Yes.
people. That is definitely, but let me read Carlos says, we have to teach our kids our history so that they will know and understand the importance of our race. I think we had more pride back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Mm-hmm. If you want to keep a man or a race lost, take away their history.
Yeah. And right. I think a lot of us, the only history we know is slavery, and we're way much more than that. But I think because we don't have a connection, like my daughter is going with a African guy. He knows his beginnings, and I think for us, we don't know our beginnings. All we know is that we came from slavery.
I did my ancestry.com, and I tried to do our family book. And when I tell you the farthest back I could go, I think it was 1880. Mm-hmm. It was as if we didn't even exist prior to that.
Exactly. And so it's like, we can't get that time back. We can't go back and erase it. All we can do is grow from here. But I think a lot of it is because
so much of our history is taken from us.
And we're trying, it's like we don't know who we are, and we're trying to create these people.
Yeah, and you know, going back to what I was saying earlier, you know, have y'all ever heard of the labeling theory?
Mm-mm.
So I mean, that's probably for another discussion, another time. But even the labeling theory, you know, the labeling theory, just in short, is a theory that concerns itself with the labeling. Let's just say, you grow up in a certain area. So let's just say, okay, I grew up in Maryland, right? So I'm from up north or whatever. I'm considered for being from up north. I'm supposed to talk a certain way. Mm-hmm. Someone grew up in California or Texas, they're supposed to talk a certain way. They're supposed to dress a certain way.
Ride horses.
Right. And they label. People get born into that labeling theory. Some people are from down south. Some people from up north. They used to say people from up north talk fast. People from down south talk a little slower, or things like that, right? But it's a labeling. It's a labeling. It's a label that society puts on a person, and then that person grows up. That family continues to take that labeling, that label into the future. And that now you have the generations coming up, and they're like, okay, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be. I'm from up north, so I have to talk fast. I have to do this. I have to dress like this. I have to drive this kind of car. I have to do this kind of thing. The labeling theory plays a big part, I feel, in what
I
we
gotta
do today.
research that. I gotta research it.
It's just like stereotypes.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of stereotypes.
Just and you know, a lot of, and just like okay, let's just say, for instance, prisoners, right? Prisoners get a labeling theory in the prison world. You've been to jail. Maybe you've been to jail one time. Now all of a sudden you're okay. Hey, watch out for this dude because he's been to prison. You've been to prison one time. It's going to be hard for you to get a job. It's going to be hard for you to get this because you have that label attached to your identity.
Yes.
So that's what you identify with, even though you may not identify with that no more, but that's what society identifies you with. So you get into that labeling
society
theory.
also identifies Black people as lazy. Although we built the country, but we're considered lazy and just making babies and leaving them, and like that's what they. If a kid grows up without a father and someone hears that they grew up without a father, the first thing somebody is going to think, oh, your dad must was in prison, or because that's the mindset of people when they hear, oh, you ain't got a daddy, he must was in prison, versus no, he died when I was 3. You know what I'm saying? And if you say that, oh, he was shot in a drive-by, it's always something that comes with it, the drugs,
when I was after I divorced Jania's dad, I have never ever allowed anybody to refer to me as a baby mama, and I don't like baby mama. I am her baby mama, but I'm talking about I got a divorce, and it's like, oh, who's your baby daddy? I do not have a baby daddy. I was married. I had I always say my ex-husband. I never say my baby daddy. And I don't like to hear when people say that, oh, my baby daddy or my baby mama. No.
Because that's something that's been embedded.
Yes. And to me, just, I don't know. I don't like that.
Okay, let me go because there's a lot of comments and I missed some. But Karen says, that's why I like the way Carlos and my hubby show our Black love through all things. Some say it shows baiting. It's show baiting. I show that there are healthy Black stable families. Carlos says, Marsha, we do know our history. We are products of kings and queens.
Yeah, we know that, but it's more deeper than that.
It's a paradigm shift. Yes, ma'am.
So let me ask y'all a question then. How do y'all feel about what's being portrayed in how we're being portrayed as a Black community in hip hop music, rap culture?
Now, let me as far as that's on us. I feel like we've done that to ourselves because we started that. That's not something the white man said, let's go and guns, hoes, and
but you got a bunch of
money.
men.
But do you think the white man enabled it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's enabled but that's what they wanted the world to see. Oh, I'm gonna let you do that.
Yes.
Because I want my people to see that this is how you guys are.
People don't believe in. I believe it's all a strategic. Listen, there's always a puppeteer, a puppet, and I think that a lot of those hip hop people, they're just little puppets, and somebody else is doing the strings. And it's to keep portraying us and making people fear us, hate us, and keep us right where we're at. That's why when a Black man gets pulled over by the cop is so afraid. Cancel.
All right.
Okay, Carlos says you identify with what you see and hear. So that's similar to labeling. I don't know about that.
And I can't stand the hip hop. I do love some rap, but I don't like hip hop.
Okay, so my brother was, I want to say 11, 12, maybe not even 11, 12. Anyway, he came to visit Carlos and I when we were in Georgia. And of course, we have young boys. And they're seeing him, and all he want to talk about is being a thug and what he saw on the videos, this, that, and the other. I said, oh, no. I sent him right back home to my mama. I said, I'm sorry, something is wrong with your child. I said, and he will not infect my kids with this type of behavior. Oh, that gangster. And I was like, what the hell? Who is this? What are you talking? We're from North South Carolina. What are you talking about? What
Well,
gang?
I fell into that same label. I did. You know, I fell into a lot of different things.
Did you?
And I did a lot of things as I was younger because because of the areas I grew up in. So I kind of assimilated to that group.
But that what was happening in that area. That wasn't. I'm from North South Carolina. That's not what's happening in our area at all.
Like my family.
Why people think that there are thugs in the country? It's not.
They were part of some things and doing a whole lot of different things than, you know, some other, you know, than things were. And I come around them, it's like, hey, you know, you what's up?
Birds of a feather.
You a part or you're not a part. It's kind of how they did it. And
okay, so, Karen said it was an expressive way of our thoughts initially, talking about rap and hip hop.
It was, and then it gravitated. That it's like I'm gonna just be 100. I feel like the white man, he got a hold of it and said, I have to get control of this. I have to control this. So let's do this differently. And then they be telling, oh, this sells. If you know, this is what sells. This is what sells. You need to keep doing this. I've seen, if you go back and look at all those documentaries and stuff about all these different groups, just like he was telling me about Escape. Escape used to have to put on, they didn't want to wear just like boys and stuff like that.
But Jermaine Dupri
said that they had to, because there was somebody telling him that this is what sells and this is what people want to see. And I think that that too many hands, the wrong hands, have got into hip hop. Like, let me tell you, in closed doors. Oh, I like Meg Thee Stallion, but I'm not fixing to go outside and I'm not going when I'm not going outside and driving in my car with my windows down on a summer, bumping it, because especially in this neighborhood, because I just don't. I don't know. I just think that
what's wrong with Megan Thee Stallion?
Let me tell you something.
Megan with the knees.
Yes. let me tell you. Right before I came here, I ain't gonna say that. Go on.
Okay, I was gonna read Travis's statement. He says, "I do not like the way we are portrayed in music. I believe the music industry is directly connected to the private prison industry."
Yes.
Because they're portraying the violence and all that, so people feel like it's okay to do it because it gives them status, it gives them the street cred that they're looking for.
But the thing is that hip hop has strayed away from violence now. Hip hop is more about money, flashy cars. So people are out here doing whatever they have to do so that they can live that lifestyle.
Really, Carlos? Carlos says, hell, when Toya first met me, she stereotyped me and said I was the leader of a gang. Well,
he was.
Listen, when you like he was a leader of several gangs, actually.
He done got people to brand they on with a hanger.
You got people, you doing this and people coming. Who does this and people come running? Who does that? Or that little noise that he used to make on the other side of the club and the whole fight break out? What is that? Can somebody else explain it? Somebody need to explain it. Okay. And Karen says, I say you have to know where to teach them. You have to know how to teach them. I think that's what she meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, and I'm just gonna say it because I don't think. Okay, so my child decided to.
Don't do it.
Yes,
don't do it. See,
don't do it.
Now, she always says I throw her under the bus, but when in instances like this, and I try to stop her from saying something, she still be like, "Oh, I'm gonna say it."
Okay, I ain't gonna say it.
Leave it alone.
Say it with your chest.
Don't encourage this type of behavior.
I ain't gonna
See, that's a
Go ahead,
problem. That's
Jabbar.
our
Hey,
problem.
we on. Let's
I'm
talk
trying to keep her on the
about it, right?
straight
Let's talk
and
about it.
causing problems in the household, and here you come. No, that's not what we do.
Hey,
I feel like
speak on it.
we have to just do better as a people. We have to do better as a people. Carlos says another little known fact: more whites and Asians consume more hip hop than any other race.
Yes, but
Okay, Travis says with private prisons, the prisoners are the stop. The more they can get people to commit crimes and go to prison, that is more stock for the private prisons because they get so much money per prisoner. It
That's
is
true.
in the best interest for them to make money to influence criminal behavior. The music industry is a good platform to reach a large group promoting criminal behavior.
Yeah, I agree with that. Most
I
definitely.
agree.
And look who has
I agree,
stock.
but that's what I was saying. I was like, they
Look who has
they
stock
get
in them
this
prisons.
thing in people's head.
Look
It's a
who has stock in those
pipeline to
privatized prisons. Who's getting money off of that? You'd be surprised. You do some research.
I
how many
heard
black
Michael
people-
Jordan was getting money from it.
That's one, yeah. There's more out there.
I mean, okay, but in his defense,
no.
In his defense,
No.
why are you saying no?
I don't buy Jordans. I don't buy.
I don't either.
There is no defense. What defense can you come to with Michael Jordan?
He invested in prison, in the prison system,
so he can make more money off of.
He already said he didn't make the Jordans for our people to buy. So what did you want from that man? Because we still go out and buy them.
And we.
But he's supposed to not make money. Is he supposed to just not make money? Even if it's off the prison system. He didn't make them go out and do a crime. He didn't make the justice system what it is.
You want to invest in prison system?
If I had the money, I would.
I'm not doing it.
Because
I can't do it.
It's a lucrative business.
It is, but it's like you feeding you're feeding the what do you call it? You're feeding the what?
I don't know. I can't even go with you.
The first time I heard about a school shooting in Maryland when I was growing up. It was over Pat Jordan. Somebody got killed over Pat Jordan's in my high school.
But we can't blame Jordan for that.
No, I ain't saying that.
Greed.
Right. No, we can't blame him for that.
But Karen says my brother served 28 years in prison. The 80s and drugs got him caught up. See, that's not doing this quote. Travis says you can see stock in private prisons go up and down depending on who is elected to office. Their policies can directly have an impact on how the jails are filled for profit as well. We know this. Yeah. We know all of that, which goes to the reason why we constantly tell our young people, listen, you have to be careful. You have to don't give no lip. Try to be as nice, because whoever's having a bad day, once you get locked up and you go away, it's hard to come out of there.
Yeah,
it's so very hard.
And
they just stack charges against you. That's just like when people was messing with Kamala Harris about her doing the job that she was doing in California of prosecuting people. That was her job. Yeah, maybe she didn't want to put these people away, but that was her job.
And she was so good at it.
So you can't be mad that she's good at doing her job. You mad at the system that she utilized to be good at doing her job.
What was you about to say, David? Oh, Lord.
But think about the system, though, right? You were just talking about the system, right? When you become labeled, going back to that labeling theory, right? Mm-hmm. When you become labeled, you go to jail, you've been to prison. If you get pulled over, let's say you're a felon, you already got that convicted felon label on you. Even though you served your time, you still a convicted felon, considered. So now,
even if you were innocent.
But you got that label attached to your name when they run your name. So now, let's say for some of these police departments and for these cops, they see okay, convicted felon. Okay, we may need to draw the guns, or we may need to come at him a little harder.
But they already come with their guns drawn before they even know who the person is.
But he's saying that they've already they've ran their tags or whatever. They know who's in that car, and they like. That's
what I'm saying is sometimes they don't even take that. Look at George Floyd. They didn't run his tags. They didn't know who he was when they came up there with guns.
They think a big old
and he was sitting in the car.
Yeah, but when they got there, he got out the car and they was like,
damn! No, they came with guns drawn, so they hadn't even seen him.
They seen him sitting in the car and they was like, that's a big old.
You can't
I was telling somebody.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do this with you. Okay, Keita said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Karen said it's about the fairness of the system and how it's against people of color. Carlos said it's so many innocent Black men in prison. People serving life sentences for petty crimes because of the 3-strike rule.
That's because they were too Black.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of sometimes we as Black people, we also have to take ownership. We don't take a lot of ownership.
Of what?
Of our stuff. Like David is saying, okay, you've been labeled, you've been to prison, you've been labeled or whatever. Okay, but you get out of prison, go back to the same environment, hang with the same people.
But in their defense, sometimes you have no choice but to go back to the same environment because you have nothing when you get out of prison.
Toya, that's a lie. I was 17.
I think it depends on the situation.
And I didn't go back.
But you weren't a felon though.
But listen, you can make a.
Were you a felon? Because you had something that they probably didn't have because you was a woman, so you could have went out and made money in ways that they couldn't go out and make.
They
money.
Could too. They could.
They
could work with Black Thunder.
Like you have to. But then that means you have to be in the gym and you have to work out because
they've been in prison. They usually come out swole anyway.
Okay, we got to get off here because it's over an hour, but people still making comments. Okay. Karen says, Marsha E. Dudley may be true, but it's a rat race. Carlos said, we as a people have to know and understand that when the system started coming down on the KKK, all they did was change their uniforms and became policemen, lawyers, and judges.
And we should
have politicians.
And we should have too, but we don't push our kids to do that.
It's not that we don't push our kids. It's something in them streets that stop the kids from wanting better and to do better. Because I push my child, I push my child. But once he leaves out of my house, the decisions that he makes, I've done my job.
That too.
Because being a police officer, being a judge, being a lawyer, being a doctor,
only way you can
not Black
get it.
Enough.
Right.
That's what's telling them.
Right.
So
because they want to be the thugs. They see the videos because lawyers aren't making videos out in the streets showing getting people off of from killing this person or none of that.
They choose
doctors and lawyers.
They hang with people that says, "Oh, that you want to be that, you want to do that, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, you want to do that." That's not. You're not Black enough. That's what white people do. Karen said felons can't get jobs.
You got to change the narrative.
They can get jobs, but it's not going to be a job that you could go get.
That's why entrepreneurship. Do you know how many felons
but
out
you
here?
Still have to have money.
No, you do not. Let me tell you something.
Well, how you make money if you don't have money? You gonna have to explain this to me, baby. How you make money if you don't have money?
You can go and pick up cans. Do you know how many cans I hear in this?
Okay, so when you pick up cans, what are you doing?
You go and get them and you make money off of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna make $100,000 in no damn can.
No, but you can take $50. I seen people take $50, go and buy some CDs or something like that, and it's
nobody's buying CDs anymore.
I'm talking about back then. Now there's still all types of things to do that even if you are a felon, you tap into whatever.
Let's talk about get a PPP loan.
Yeah.
Okay, Karen says, no, ma'am, Marsha, this system was not created fair from the jump. So we can't say what we choose not to do.
Oh, okay. Oh, David, what do you think?
No matter how smart you are, Marsha,
what do you think,
and what
David?
you do, we
What do you
as
think,
Black
David?
start at 0, and
hell,
our white
no.
counterparts start at
No.
10. Exactly.
No.
A white man can go to prison and come back and get a damn job. A black man go to prison and come back and get locked back up.
I call it personal responsibility. That's
it
right.
Is a personal responsibility. But how much
personal responsibility?
Listen, if I'm out here, I go to prison, I come back, and I'm putting on this nice dress that I done borrowed from my cousin to go get jobs. And every time I go in there, I have to check that I'm a felon. My application immediately goes in the trash.
Walmart,
hey.
Goodwill, McDonald's.
Hey, let me tell you
everybody is going out for that same job. Every time they go out for that job, I'm gonna be put to the bottom.
Go to the car wash.
So after a year of doing this, and I ain't made no job yet, I got to make money because I'm hungry, and the person I'm living with is tired of seeing me in their house.
I know quite a few felons. Who prior felons. I put it that way. I'm playing to the labeling theory, but prior felons who have made it successful. I also know some prior felons who choose to go back to their old life, and that's what they're going to get, because it's to me, in my opinion, is a matter of personal choice. Because if you look at some of the Black people out here who have made it, since we're talking in that aspect right now, okay, what did they do to make them successful? It's called sacrifice. Yeah. It's called letting yourself go, and it's called taking personal responsibility and personal accountability. And that's what I tell my kids.
Yes, but it's still going to be harder. Even if you take the responsibility, you done picked up all the cans, it's still going to be harder. Let me read what Karen just said. Karen just said, Marsha, sorry, I don't agree. My husband had to get it harder out the mud than his white friends. Marsha, in corporate America, all these are to you.
Yeah, I know, I see.
In corporate America, no, you as a Black woman have to work harder than the white woman. I promise you.
I agree.
Carlos says a Black baby is born with no privileges. A white baby is born with all sorts of privileges and responsibilities.
Hey.
Karen says it depends on the felony. Listen, I got to put my baby business in the street because we got to talk about this, because you tripping right now.
No,
my baby got 2-3 doggone tickets that he done paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for going a few miles over the speed limit with his good friend, white boy, that wreck vehicles, drunk, and get warnings, and more vehicles. Only in America. Only in America is this stuff happening. You the same age. You got the same. So you're telling me that there's nothing to the privilege? Is that what you're telling me? Right?
Hey, let me ask you this question, right? As a former EOA, you know what an EOA is, Toya? As a former equal opportunity advisor, let me ask you this.
Come on with it.
You talking about Black? You talking about white privilege, right? Do you believe there's any other? Do you believe other races have privileges?
With each other? Listen, let me tell you.
Do you believe there's? Now I know what aspect you're talking about in right now in the greatest scheme of things in America, but do you believe there's Black privilege?
Yes. Because I'm gonna give to a Black before I give, and I know this is going out worldwide, but I'm just gonna say I am biased. If I see 2 businesses over here selling the same thing, and one is my sister, and hers is $5-10 more, I'm probably still gonna go to her because that's just my bias. So there is Black privilege, and I say that with my head held high.
Come on, Daddy, because let me tell you something. You're not willing to step out in this boat step out the boat and get in this deep water in me. But I know that you thinking the same thing.
But no, what I'm saying is, let's not downplay the fact that when we get out of prison, even because there has been tons of people to go to prison and they actually was guilty and they changed their entire life just to get out and have to face the world. And the world is ugly. It's an ugly world we live in when you don't have a felony record, and it's even uglier when you do. So you can say, "Oh, get out here and make your business." We out here, we got business, but we not millionaires.
But you talking about being a millionaire. I'm talking about just having a paycheck. You have to you can crawl before you walk, and I believe in crawling before I walk. Like I said, I don't care.
But it still takes money to make money. I don't care what you say.
And I agree.
So you have to get the money from somewhere.
You can find
unless you are stealing and slinging drugs that end up back in prison, you're not going to get it.
No, the point is that they don't want to work and make the small amount of money. They're used to making this a whole bunch of money. And this job right here only paying them minimum wage is $7 an hour. But what I'm sitting up here saying, take that $7 an hour, save it, build on it, and then
okay. But when you say save, that means you have some people that's in your corner, because everybody, y'all know, we look at them the same way. And if you went to jail for stealing, you can't stay with me when you come out of jail.
Listen,
am I right or wrong?
I agree. I think everybody can agree there are disparities within the criminal justice system, within just the system
in our communities.
The system as a whole, right? However, I will say this. However, I think it's a matter of choice. I think it's a matter of choice on what you decide to do. Okay, I'll give you a prime example. My father, and I got some uncles too that followed the kind of the same route. My father was a child of one of 13 that was born in a small shack in Arkansas. Right? He decided to join the military. Everybody else didn't decide to join the military. They wanted to go out there and do what they wanted. I'm not saying the military is the only way, but that's a matter of sacrifice that he decided to do. I am a product of that, and my other brothers and my sister, that we're a product of that, as a whole. Now, I have some family members who decided not to do other things. Like for me, I was quite a few things when I was growing up, just because of it. Even though I came up from a nice, let's say, household, everything was around, whether it was gangs, whether it was drugs, whether it was alcohol, whatever. I made a personal choice to say, oh, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Now, out of some of my acquaintances that I had and friends, the majority of them have been in prison or have been to jail because they decided to make other choices. They decided to do other choices, and they decided
it is a choice thing. But at the same time, David, every situation is different.
I think that y'all keep saying, it's like y'all are saying all felons. That is not true.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying all felons, but you can't group everybody together, because if you don't have a support system when you get out, you can say save money. I'm gonna save because I'm living with somebody. They gonna need something. Okay. I can't live you cannot live in this world for free unless you're homeless. No.
Even if you got a support system, sometimes it still doesn't matter.
It's still hard.
I hear what you're saying.
I don't think you do. Let me read some of these comments, because y'all, we still going and it's way over. Okay. Karen says, I have a friend whose son got on drugs and was able to go to a rehab, and then went on and graduated from college doing well. His black friend who started with him is in prison to this day. Carlos says, we witnessed it when we were in a cruise in the Caribbean and watched a black lady give us black privileges. We did. And then Carlos said, it was a sight to see. I was absolutely surprised, but it did feel good. It really did. She said they can't save money, honey.
Okay, listen.
How do you tell a bootless man to pull himself up by the bootstraps, but he was left with no boots?
Go get you some more damn
Sorry,
boots.
I've been working in therapy, social work over 15 years and have worked for the state. No. I've seen it all.
No.
Carlos is singing Tasha Cobb's Break Every Chain.
Look here. Let me tell you something.
We fall down, but we get up.
I'm pulling from this is because in 2002, I had no education. I was sleeping on a twin mattress in Oak Cliff.
But she's not gonna tell y'all how she went and was dancing at DG's. She's not gonna tell you that.
She.
So she gonna tell you all this other stuff, but she's not gonna tell you how she was dancing at DJ. And then when she wasn't on the pole, she was at the Motel 6. So she's not gonna tell that part of her story. Men can't do that.
She is lying. Never did I do that. But you want to know what I did do? I went and I got me a job at Walmart. I started off as a stalker.
So what were you doing? Like you had a felony record?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
But Toya, but hold on. The guy that was over me, he had just, matter of fact, he had just gotten out of prison 1 year later. There are corporations that do hire felonies. My thing is, there are so many different people that are out here willing to give you a second chance and different stuff like that. But you got to be willing. You have to be relentless. I don't give a care if you've been in prison, if you had 4 or 5 strikes.
You got to get out of that stigma.
You are relentless on the inside. You're going to make stuff happen. You're going to make it happen.
Yes, you're going to make it happen. But let's not just downplay the struggles of being relentless. And some people mentally, and this is Mental Health Awareness Month, mentally, they probably can't maintain.
I get it, but my thing, for me, I feel like y'all are speaking about this about the group that is that much like the.
I think you're speaking about that group. I think you're speaking about the 1%.
No.
Well, we won't know because we haven't done any statistics. We just sitting here arguing right now. Child, Walmart didn't hire my brother after 28 years. Of prison.
But let me
Marshall prison is no rehab, honey.
and that's the thing. It's that person. It's not the society. It's the person.
Sharita says, but the number of corporations hiring felons are few and
why the hell do they have to work at a corporation? I'm talking about why is it that they can't go to? They have a lot of small businesses. Go to those small businesses. There are a lot.
Well, I definitely don't want no thief working at my small business.
But why is he a thief? If he paid his price, why is he still a thief?
Thank you.
Labeling theory. Toya, it's a labeling theory.
Whoa, Toya.
You're a thief. You're a thief.
Oh. Come on now. Come on.
You went to prison for stealing.
Nate got that good old business. He better be he need to be out there hiring all of them.
Let me ask you this. If you paid your due to society,
felons,
why are you still being labeled?
Exactly.
But you know what? If you're not in the right prison reform program,
no, if you ain't the right nigga with the right mindset, that's you have to your mindset. It's all of this. My thing is that we keep staying where we're at is because of what y'all are saying, and that's how I feel. When you sit up and you tell a person you can't overcome, you are relentless. I taught don't get me wrong, because I believe in those affirmations and people understanding that you can do whatever. You just have to go out and keep going and keep going and keep going. But what I'm trying to get you to see is, if I came from prison, if I've been in prison for 15 years for whatever I'll be in prison for, I come back. If I don't have anything to come back to, no support, what am I doing? They shouldn't. Their record shouldn't be right, cream, if they've been screwing babies. No, it's a question.
Hey, you know what, Toya, though? I agree with that. Toya, I agree with that to a point.
Somebody said,
okay.
Do they?
Sharita says, why can't their records be clean after they've done their time?
No.
And I understand there are some that will repeat, but for those first felons, let's allow them a second chance. Carlos says there's a reason on every application that they ask if you are a felon or a veteran. Shit, veterans have problems too, child. Karen says prison no longer is a reform, Toya. It's Texas Department of Criminal Justice. It's used to be Texas Department of Rehabilitation System. Child.
I just think
I don't want no parts of none of it.
Let me tell you, and I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all.
Y'all, we had an hour and 20 minutes.
We could be an hour and 22 because I'm gonna get this last what I gotta say. I used to teach jobs for life in North Carolina. And a lot of the people that came there, they came out of prison. And what I would tell the men is that they had to change their mindset. And I'm telling you, I promise to God, every person that was in my class, they all got a job, or they either started their own businesses. There are so many things that are in place. Like if you've been in prison and you want to start a business, there are nonprofit organizations that will help you start a business.
So but they're not everywhere though.
Let me ask you this.
You have to still, there are.
It's called a victim mentality. A victim mentality.
Yes.
You got to get out of the victim mentality. Man, whether it happens or not, you got to change your mindset.
Yes, I believe that. I don't think that I'm not saying the same thing as far as you have to still go out. You can't give up. You can't give up. But what I'm saying is mentally, sometimes it can be so hard that all you know is to give up because you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Because I got pulled over 4 times in 1 month because I had a black Tahoe with rims on it. Back in the day, I had a black Tahoe with 22, 24, whatever it was, 22s on it. And I got pulled over 4 times in Fayetteville here. And none of the times did I get anything. I got basically I was embarrassed. I had to do a sobriety test. None of the times did I get charged for anything. But you know what? I didn't let that stop. I was pissed off. But you know what? You know what? I'm here today and I'm living good. You know why? Because I shrugged that off. I was able to. I'm not saying everybody is able to, because some people, they have different situations. But for my situation, I was able to put that to the side and not let that be my daily motivation of being pissed off. And I kept going, I kept grinding, and I kept doing what I had to do, making the sacrifices. And I'm here today, living life pretty good. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is some people, they get caught up in that victim mentality of where they're constantly worried about, hey man, I need this, or the system is this, or the man is doing this. Man, forget that, man.
They are against you, but you have to be. This is what I've always, and this is what I tell my daughter. You play them at their own game. Go through my Facebook page. You do see I'm the only black there, because one thing about me, I'm with them. I'm trying to understand what they think. I have even asked them, what do you think about black people? What do you think our issue is? Because I want to get into their head. The thing is that if you keep this mindset that they are keeping me down, you will always be down. I do not think like that. My thing is, I'm going to play their game and I'm going to play it harder. That's why I switch up when I get around white people. Oh, yeah, I turn to Marsha. Not Marsha. And you have to change your mind.
David Carter said you was racially profiled.
He was racially profiled.
Yeah, I was. You know I like the word baseball.
He said they can change their mindsets, but it will never change society's mindset. Y'all, many people are products of their environment, and most only know learned behavior.
The socialization process.
I get released from prison and I have to go back to the same projects and the same family trying to merely survive. That's what I was thinking about, Karen. I teach my clients how to change behaviors, but that can take years. I was the only black woman in my office for 4 years, so I know their game.
Yeah,
Sharita says we have to have those uncomfortable conversations. That's the only way to get resolution.
I've been
Carla says, I don't want a piece of the pie. I want the rest.
The whole of it. I want all of it.
I'm gonna get it, and I'm getting it right now. But you know what? I'm not gonna let it. I'm not gonna let nobody start like somebody said. In the job I did in the military, where I was at, you saw very few black people in that job. But man, don't go over there, man. They don't like brothers over there. What you doing over there in that job, in that MOS? I was like, you know what? Whatever, man, whatever. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And guess what? And I did what I did, and I was successful, and I'm retired now. So, but if I would have listened to the other people out there, what I call the sheeple, I would have probably never got to where I've gotten today.
But that's what I'm saying. Your mindset was different. There are people who have mental issues that's gonna believe everything that they hear.
Yes.
Where they work where they at.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We can't help them. We can't help everybody.
But that's the reason why we know that there's a mental problem in this world, and some people believe like if you tell me I'm ugly long enough, I'm gonna believe it.
It's systemic. It's systemic because you got. I mean, that's that's a whole nother conversation. We had it before, I think, on one of your shows. But it's a systemic problem. But you got to somewhere down the line, you got to start getting out of that systemic.
I want to know how Black Enough turned into that's cruel.
Because you Black. Because you Black and Black.
Let's on Marsha.
Hey,
no, Karen says my husband taught my son be smart, play dumb. It's unfortunate, but that's how you learn.
Yes. And that's
gotta go, ladies. But this was really good conversation. Good night, Sharita. We about to get off here because it's an hour and 25 minutes, and we do not
have me hot.
Woo!
Hey, see, that's why we need to come to Texas so we can have this thing in person.
Look, this
we can talk all night.
In words. Okay, David, thank you so much for coming on with us. We really appreciate it. But we're gonna go and close this out. Yes,
thank you, David.
We appreciate you.
Let me tell you, this is a good conversation.
Great conversation. No, we don't went
from devil advocate. You can sick sometimes.
It's a wonderful job.
So yes,
I try because everybody can't be on the same. And I always try to look at things from a different perspective.
And I ain't gonna give up because if I believe something, I'm believing. And I ain't gonna give up. You can.
Karen said she's looking at you with 3 eyes tomorrow.
That's okay. That's okay.
I love it.
I'll let my white side show tonight. Okay.
You people. Okay, thank you all for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. This was an amazing conversation. I love the interaction that you all gave. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And if you have not done so yet, please go to YouTube to Let's Talk About It with Etoya and Marsha, where you can subscribe and click the bell at the bottom so you can get notifications when we go live with this Tipsy Taco Tuesday, 15 minutes of fame, whatever we decide that we're going to do. So without further ado, I want to tell them something so we can start getting questions. On the 10th of June, we will be in Minnesota at Cup Foods where it all happened, speaking with the people in the area about George Floyd and what they think of, what's going on and the verdict and all that. And if you have any questions that you would like for us to ask, please comment in the box thing or whatever, message us something. And we'll make sure we get those written down so we can ask those questions.
Yes.
Okay. So tune in next week for another episode of Let's Talk About It.
I always don't hear that.
That's where you get it from. Yeah. Good night, y'all.